Hello guys, welcome back to our channel, Life in Motion a Studio.
You know that feeling, right? It's late at night, the house is completely still, and suddenly there's nothing, just silence. And with it comes this weird tension that just crawls up your spine, even when you know you're perfectly safe.
It's something we all feel, but have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why does the complete absence of sound feel so unnerving, so dangerous? Well, that's the exact mystery we're going to solve right now.
All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, we need to rewind the clock. Way back. Before cities, before houses, heck, even before language. We have to look at a core truth about how our brains are built.
It sounds a little strange, but it's true. Our brains are just not wired for a world without sound. Think about it. For our ancient ancestors, a living, breathing environment was a noisy environment. So total silence? That wasn't peaceful. Oh no, that was a blaring, unnatural alarm bell screaming that something was very, very wrong.
Okay, so how does this ancient programming actually work inside our modern heads? The best way to think about it is like an old alarm system passed down for thousands of generations that's still running on your brain's hardware today.
For our ancestors, the normal background noise of the world, birds chirping, insects buzzing, the wind in the trees, that was the soundtrack of safety. That meant everything was okay. So when that soundtrack suddenly cut out, it could only mean one thing.
That's the punchline. That deep, sudden quiet was the moment just before the danger hit. It meant the birds had spotted a predator and fled. The whole forest just held its breath because a threat was on the move. Silence was the ultimate warning sign.
You can see the stark difference, right? It's like a binary code for survival that's burned into our DNA. Sound means life, safety, everything is normal. But silence? Silence means threat, predator, danger. It was a simple but absolutely life-saving switch.
And this isn't just some vague idea. Scientists actually have a name for it, the night alarm circuit. And even today, in your cozy, modern house, when the TV clicks off and everything goes quiet, this ancient circuit fires up. It immediately puts your senses on high alert, making you scan the room, straining to hear anything that might explain the silence.
Now here's where things get really wild. What does our brain do when that alarm gets triggered? You'd think it would just listen more carefully, right? Nope. It actually does something much, much stranger. Instead of just waiting for a signal, your brain does the opposite. It cranks the volume way up on its own internal microphone. This is called fear amplification. With no sound coming in from the outside, it becomes hypersensitive to the tiniest noises, especially the ones coming from inside your own body. All of a sudden, that steady thump-thump in your chest isn't so quiet anymore. In a silent room, it can sound like a huge booming drum, making you even more aware of your own rising anxiety. The same thing happens with your breath. What's normally an unconscious act now sounds heavy, ragged, and loud. You can't help but hear every single inhale and every single exhale.
And then there are the normal house sounds. That tiny little creak as the house settles. Your hypersensitive brain doesn't register that as wood contracting. It hears a footstep. It hears an intruder. So here's the bottom line. Your brain absolutely hates an information vacuum. When it gets zero auditory input, it starts desperately searching for a signal. And if it can't find one, it'll start misinterpreting your own heartbeat as an external sound. Or worse, it'll just start making things up. Phantom sounds, shadows in the corner of your eye, that's your brain trying to fill in the blanks. And all of this leads us to the final and most powerful part of this whole puzzle. The fear isn't really about the silence. It's about what our own minds do in that empty space. So we really have to reframe how we think about this. Silence isn't an absence of something. From a psychological point of view, it's a presence. It's a blank canvas, and our brain is an ancient artist just waiting to paint its deepest fears all over it.
So that creepy feeling you get in a totally quiet room, that's a direct line to the survival instincts that kept our species alive for millennia. That tension is an echo of ancient dangers. It's just your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do, protect you from a threat that might be hiding just out of sight.
Which brings me to one last big question. When all the external noise is gone, when everything is perfectly still, what is the absolute loudest sound in that silent room?
The answer is your own imagination. The fear you feel in the quiet and the dark, it doesn't actually come from the outside world. It comes from the powerful, protective, and incredibly ancient survival machine that's running inside your own head. It's your brain telling you stories to keep you safe, just like it did for your ancestors long, long ago.